UFC Fight Night Gastelum versus Imavov for the returning card of the UFC in 2023 on the 14th of January. Will be a pretty solid fight, actually. This is a really interesting fight. On my news video, I wasn't quite sure who to pick here. I did pick Imavov, but looking into the more of their tape and things like that, it is a much more interesting fight. I'll be breaking it down here with an early prediction. This is how I feel now. It could change when we get there in 2023, which is a long ways away. What, a couple months, 3 months? But yes, let's get right into the breakdown. First off, let's get into how they match up against each other. Gastelum is 17-8, and Imavov is 12-3. There is a 5-year age difference. When the fight happens, it'll be more of a 4-year age difference because Imavov's birthday is in like a couple months. There is a 5-inch height, or not a 5-inch. How many inches? Holy shit! Like a 7-inch height advantage. It is in the middleweight division. Imavov will have a 3.5 reach advantage in this fight, and will have a 2.5-inch leg reach advantage for this fight also. So Imavov will have the length advantage for this fight. So it'll be very, very interesting. That way it adds a little bit more to this. 5 rounds is a big deal for this fight also. So yeah, let's get right into it. So when I looked at some of the videos for this breakdown, I wanted to make sure I knew what I'm looking at with Imavov, because his last fight he did look pretty impressive, but did kind of slow down in the Joaquin Buckley fight in like the 3rd round. Was super tired, was missing a lot of his shots. It was really messy. So I decided to look back into his older fights. Of course, his last fight was a win against Joaquin Buckley, Edmund Shabazian, and Ian Heinisch. And then lost to Phil Haas, sorry. Phil Haas lost to Phil Haas and then won his next 3. Has looked pretty impressive since then. But I do notice that he does he's a really, of course, I guess I'll just break him down real quick. He's super quick on the feet. I guess his nickname is the sniper, the Russian sniper. Super quick with his hands. Uses his length pretty well too. Kind of, I don't want to say kind of defensive, but likes the opponent to go first. Does have some pretty good grappling, although he can get taken down himself. I do think this will be a very interesting matchup because of that kind of stuff. So I'm breaking it down. Joaquin Buckley fight, he slowed down and missed a lot of his shots. In a lot of these fights where it goes towards the distance, he does slow down a lot. In the Phil Haas fight, he got taken down, which is very interesting. A lot of these guys try to take down Nassourdine Imavov. Most of the time, he flips it over and reverses position. Even Joaquin Buckley, I believe, shot a takedown on Nassourdine Imavov. Didn't get it. But as the fight went on, you saw Nassourdine Imavov go from like 100%, like slowly going down to like a good like 70%. And his fighting style kind of, he gasses out quite a bit. I wonder how he'll show up in a 5-round fight. Will he not throw as much? Will he be a little bit more patient? Will his cardio be a little bit better? Assuming that he is already pretty well conditioned. It's just a very interesting situation here. It's my main issue with this fight, in all honesty. The cardio is one of the main reasons why I'm not too comfortable picking him in this fight. But for Kelvin Gastelum, he hasn't fought in like a year. The fight coming up, it'll be like over a year that he's missed since his last fight against Jared Cannonier in the main event against Robert Whittaker on those fight night cards. Went to decisions in both. Super tanky, takes a lot of damage, can take a lot of shots. In the Cannonier fight, he got dropped and then immediately got up and looked like replenished and everything, which was absolutely insane. Great chin. Does have some really good movement. Of course, got some really good solid power in his hands also. But in that Cannonier fight, you saw Cannonier not pretty well conditioned, and in all honesty, like he wasn't getting tired or anything like that. So he's able to keep the same pace there. For Nassourdine Imavov, I can't really say the same. Can Nassourdine Imavov finish this fight? Maybe. It just depends on what kind of Kelvin Gastelum we see. Kelvin Gastelum will be 31 years old, so he's not like super old at all. He could be entering his prime, or probably is entering his prime right about now. But of course, his last what was this? His last 5 fights were losses, or his last 6 fights were 5 losses and 1 win. So he's been on quite a bit of losing streak right now. We'll see how he shows up. I'm assuming the chin's gonna be there. He'll be improving a little bit. He hadn't made too much improvements in his last couple fights, but assuming that he does improve and that his cardio is the same, his conditioning is the same, good solid takedown defense, good chin, great chin actually. I'm gonna take him in this fight. Actually, it's such a hard fight to predict because you just don't know how both of these guys are gonna show up. You can assume that Kelvin Gastelum's going to show up the same as he always does, or he could be improving, or he could be a little rusty because he hasn't been in there for a while. And then Nassourdine Imavov, you haven't even seen him in 5 rounds. In 3 rounds, he's getting gassed out by the 3rd round, like towards the end of the 6th round. You just don't know how he's going to show up in a 5-round fight, which is the biggest issue for me picking with him in this. So I feel like the safer pick for this fight would probably be Kelvin Gastelum here. I can see Nassourdine Imavov winning the first couple rounds, picking him apart at range. Obviously, Kelvin Gastelum does have some really good movement, so I think normally they have such weird, interesting fighting styles, and seeing them go against each other is pretty interesting. Also, you see a lot of guys, especially in the last couple matchups, like to circle a little bit around Kelvin Gastelum, and the same thing with Nassourdine Imavov. It'll be just like 2 guys coming ahead at each other and then just throwing down. Now, when Imavov starts to get a little tired, I can see him start moving around quite a bit. But again, the movement of these 2 guys, even with the length of Imavov, I believe, what was the reach advantage that Cannonier had on Gastelum in this fight? I'm trying to pull it up. So Cannonier had a bigger reach advantage than Imavov does. I believe he did have a 6-inch reach advantage over Kelvin Gastelum, and Kelvin Gastelum was able to dodge some of Cannonier's shots and was able to inflict some more damage. I think we can see Kelvin Gastelum chop down the legs a little bit of Nassourdine Imavov, and then we can see, I think Shahbazyan had a really good time taking out the legs of Imavov. I believe Joaquin Buckley, when he tried to do it, Imavov did check a couple of them. So I think we'll see Gastelum try to chop Imavov down, try to get rid of the movement that he has. He'll use some of his movement in general. I'll probably give Imavov the first couple rounds because he is very quick, very fast with his hands, and we'll probably be able to use his length a lot better there. But I think as the fight goes on, we'll see Gastelum start to shine a little bit more, connect a lot more, and then we'll see Imavov miss a lot more of his shots. I actually think Gastelum will be able to not worry too much about the takedowns. I think he'll be able to stuff it kind of, not worry too much. Even if it is incorporated a little bit, I don't know. I don't think he'll be able to take Gastelum down. Maybe he will for a little bit, but we'll see. I actually think we'll probably see some clinch work from both guys a little bit here. And then I actually think Gastelum could probably work in a little bit of takedown just to get his mind off of it, just to tire Imavov out a little bit. And yeah, so I'm going to give it to Gastelum. 3rd round is very important in this fight. I'm going to give the first 2 rounds to Nassourdine Imavov and the last 3 to Kelvin Gastelum. Honestly, I could probably see Imavov stealing the 3rd round too, but it's just, you don't even know what's going to happen in the last 2 rounds because we haven't actually seen Imavov get punished for the kind of bad cardio that he does have. I wouldn't necessarily say, well, I guess we'll find out if it's super bad or not, but he does miss a lot of his shots when he does get very tired in his fights. So when you put those extra 2 rounds at the end of that 3rd round, I want to see how he deals with the tiredness in the rest of the fight. Will he pace it out a little bit more? Very big test for Nassourdine Imavov, but I'm going to go with Kelvin Gastelum for this fight. And yeah, so that's what I have so far. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't know if I'm going to do the Bryce Mitchell versus Ilia Topuria matchup. Honestly, I don't know what the hell is going on with that situation. Even Bryce Mitchell's coach, I'm blanking on his name. He said that he's hearing that Evloev is probably going to pull out. Now they're saying Sadiq Youssef could get involved in this fight. Now I heard Ilya Taforia. So who knows at this point? So I'm not going to make the prediction for that fight yet. I'll probably make the Kevin Holland versus Wonderboy prediction soon. Maybe I'll save the Bryce Mitchell and whoever he's fighting for Saturday or something, or maybe the following week until it actually gets confirmed. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.